Hello, beautiful people. It's Natalie at Fashion Confession Gal, and I have a treat for you. Today, I'm going to be interviewing Jade from Jaded Jumpsuits. She is a fashion designer, she's an entrepreneur, a business owner, a community leader, and so much more. Jade, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hello. Oh my gosh, what an intro. Thanks.
Well, I was so thrilled to be able to get to see your collection. What was it, like a
Mm.
week ago? I was
Yeah.
blown away. So, why don't you just tell us about your collection, how long you've been in business, and a little bit about what you're doing right now?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'd love to. It's always it's so great being able to share my story a little bit. Because yeah, I started just a year ago. We just celebrated our first year anniversary in July.
You've made so much progress in a year. That's
No,
wild.
you
Congratulations.
know, thank you. Thank you. I didn't do it alone. God has helped me through all of it, and I have an amazing partner and support system. But yeah, I started in July of last year, and I created Jaded Jumpsuits, which is a new line of jumpsuits that are restroom ready. So many women out there understand and have the same problem, right? Of having to wear a jumpsuit and get completely naked when using the restroom.
Oh my
And
God, I can't even count the times. Yes.
yeah, so you know this struggle. So I really focused a lot of my business on fixing a problem, bringing a solution. So again, all of my jumpsuits are redesigned, so they're restroom ready. So there's a lot of hidden mechanisms, hidden zippers in areas, in the seam, on the sides, in the back, different things like that. So women can still be able to unzip themselves from the waist down, go about their business, and still be covered from the top up. So my collection right now that's out has been what has started with me and then has evolved and has just been some bright colors, different ideas, and now we're going to start focusing on more colors before we do another collection.
That that is so cool to create a beautiful collection that actually fixes an issue that women are
Yes.
having. Like I love it. So
Yeah.
what made you, just start your own business? Because I'm sure, were you in the fashion industry before? Were you doing something different? Like why did you start a fashion business? How did
Yeah.
you do it?
No, it's crazy. I was not in the fashion industry. I had zero fashion experience. So it's a little crazy.
Yeah.
Um, no, I was actually in logistics. I was a consultant for a couple of years and I loved it. A lot of my life I've been in sales. I have been in a lot of business, and so I've understood a lot of the front end of business being in logistics during COVID, by the way, was when I kind of started. It taught me a lot on how to be adaptable, how to kind of keep up with what was going on in the world. And then it also showed me a lot of the back end of business. So, you know, how operations really does run and what needs to happen in order to keep a business going. So I did that for a couple of years, and then I just kind of reached this point where I was like getting really comfortable at my job, wasn't really enjoying it as much. And like growing up, I've always known I wanted to be my own boss. I've always wanted to be a CEO. I didn't know quite what it was that I wanted to do, but I knew that I had it in me to be super ambitious and to be a CEO of some kind. And so I just decided to take a leap of faith last year. I got into this specific, designing fashion because when I moved to California a couple of years ago, I became a professional burlesque dancer. And
Ooh.
yeah, it's so different. I would never, something that I thought I would ever do. But I've danced my whole life. And I was like, you know what? One of my friends was a burlesque dancer. And when I watched her perform, like I lit up, I felt so in awe of how just beautiful she was also like from the inside out, you know, because you step onto it, the space in front of other women and you just inspire them. When you see a girl winning, you're like, okay, you do your thing.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so so I did that. But part of burlesque is making your own costumes. And in order to do your own costumes, there's a lot of taking them apart and rebuilding it or reconstructing it so that it's easier to get out of.
I had no idea.
Yes, yes, girl, I've spent countless hours redoing costumes, bedazzling pieces. So I took that, experience of replacing a bunch of buttons or like a corset with a lot of the tying and strings with a zipper. It still looks good on the front, but it's easy to take off. And so I'm like, if I can do this with costumes, why can't I do this with regular clothes, especially ones that women struggle with, like jumpsuits? So having a solution-oriented mindset, I kind of just took my experience from, costume designing and applying it for my love of jumpsuits and meshed them together. It took a drawing from April that I had done just a couple months prior, and then I was like, let's try to create this. So we took it down to a manufacturer. They created a sample, and I was like, okay, we're on to something. This is gonna work. And then my journey after that has been great. So I've just been continuing to pursue that and learn fashion as I'm creating something in fashion.
Absolutely. I think that so many creatives and artists, they don't necessarily have the business experience, and you've been able to take your business experience and add the creativity and the joy of what you're doing into it and create something new. And I think that's so special to have, both parts to make your business work. So
Yeah.
it sounds like Jaded Jumpsuits is really unique in its own way. Like, what other kind of unique decisions that did you have to make as a business owner for your business to kind of grow? And
Oh my gosh. I was like, there's so many things, so many things. I mean, again, being functional fashion in itself is something that's super unique, and I think that sets me apart. Because I didn't just jump into just fashion of like all kinds and dresses and stuff, but like I was focusing on fixing a problem in a niche market. So right now we're just focusing on jumpsuits, but a lot of our jumpsuits. They are all hand sourced, handmade here locally, high quality fabrics. So I am very much involved in this process of, create pulling together the creations, gathering the fabrics, trying them out. There's a lot of trial and error in fashion. But something else that really makes us unique is I think, as well as something that should always kind of be done, is really listening to the market and what women are wanting. People are going to tell you exactly what they want, what their problems are, what you need to do to fix it. And so a lot of my process has just been listening, a lot of testing. So putting these jumpsuits on just women who have no idea, getting their honest feedback. There's been a lot of blind surveys that I do without giving it away. So I'm not creating a biased market of women to talk about my clothing. And so a lot of it has just been listening to what women are really wanting or what they're really feeling, I feel. That's what sets me apart.
I think that's so important for any business, really, but for the fashion industry, the market research that comes with your product, you're more likely to succeed, I feel. And clearly, in your case, it's been working for you.
Thank
So,
you.
in regards to like the sales channels that you're using, things have changed so much in the
Mhm.
last few years, especially with technology. What sales channels are you using? Are you doing online? Are you doing pop-ups? What kinds of things are you doing to reach your customers?
Yeah. Yeah, so right now, everything is online, social media. So people can go to the store on Instagram. I do have a website, letsgetjaded.com. And I do attend pop-ups. I've been to a few now, which have been amazing. I've met a lot of amazing people. And then I've been in fashion shows. So like you mentioned, we met at OC Fashion Week, which has been great. I had my own launch party. Um, and I'm at a lot of networking events. I'm constantly in my stuff, constantly talking about my stuff. And so that has been my main form of sales right now is essentially word to mouth and the social media.
Well, that's amazing. And so far it's reached a huge audience because there's so many people looking at fashion online right now. And
Yeah.
I love that your items, did I see that they're pretty much like a custom order? Like you say, I'm a size medium and like you make it for the client when they order it.
I do. I do. So we do have general, small, medium, and large, but something that I think has been great for me is if I know that person and they want a custom piece, then I will measure them myself and will custom make it myself. Everything is pretty much made to order right now. Um, So we don't have a bunch of just inventory sitting around. I've talked to a lot of people in fashion who are like, don't do that. You don't want to be stuck with a bunch of inventory. And so a lot of my process right now, which also I think is something that's unique now that you bring it up, is there is a lot of this personal connection that I have with my clients. I get to know them and I get to know what their measurements are. So then everything that I do, there's genuinely so much detail and love and attention that goes into their piece for them. And then, just something that I like to do personally is, again, this business came through God. And so a lot of the times when I'm done packaging it and everything, there's always a prayer said over that box so that when it reaches that woman, they have an opportunity to step into a Jaded jumpsuit and feel empowered and feel inspired and to have all these different, um, like confidence, I guess, to come out of them when they're in my piece. It's more than just clothing. It's a statement.
Yeah, and it's a unique piece of art. Like if you're making each, thing like when they order it, that's incredible. It reminds me of the way that fashion used to be. You didn't used to be able to go to the store and like get whatever size that you wanted. Like you had to go to a tailor, right? You had to get
Mhm.
measured. They would make garments for you. This is a long time ago.
Right.
I'm not kidding. But for anyone who knows like the history of fashion, that's the way it used to be. You made your own clothes or you had to go to a tailor and they would make clothes for you. If you try to do that now, you're spending thousands and thousands of dollars to get someone to even pay attention to you. So the
Right.
fact that you can have these designs that people can just be like, oh, can I have this size? Can I have this color? And just have you put that special attention on their garment and on them. That's really, really special.
No, I think you're right. And especially now, with how fashion is too, there's a lot of fast fashion out there. You hear a lot about that. And you know what? Nothing wrong with that. I know a lot of people do like shop that, but I also, especially being only a year old, I'm not at a place where I'm just pumping all of these out. So it does take a lot of time. It does take a lot of money to do it this way. But again, it's something that's going to set me apart for right now. And until I continue to grow and get to a place where I can mass produce a little bit more and have some inventory on hand, then I will. But I enjoy this process. It also, again, gives me an opportunity to connect with the customers on a personal level. It's not fast fashion, it's very sustainable too. So,
And maybe it's not either or. Like, I think that's amazing. Maybe you have both,
mhm.
I think people would be willing to pay more money for something that's like, like takes that amount of attention for their garment. And then other people can just buy stuff off the rack. Maybe it's both. So
That's it.
I can't wait to see where that goes for you.
Thank you.
There's so many skills that you need as a fashion designer, and you not coming directly from the industry, like what sort of skills did you have to sharpen like to get this going?
Yeah. Oh my God. So many fashion, in itself, learning about the market, sewing, pattern making, along my process, even like from creation to, or like sketching to product and then product to like order out to the customer, there are so many little things that you don't think about, right? Like even when I first when I got my first ever order, I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be great. All I gotta do is buy the fabric, get it sewn, ship it out. Are we good? No, there's there's material that you have to buy, yes, but you have to also have hang tags and labels and sizes and care labels, and then you have packaging. What is it gonna look best in? And so I had to learn a lot of these little steps that make a big difference, all within, fashion, marketing, packaging, customer service, stuff like that. Um, I had to learn a lot about the market. I think the biggest thing is staying a student in your industry is huge. Like you said, I didn't have this kind of background, so there's been a lot of networking that has needed to happen, collaborating and interviewing different manufacturers, different pattern makers, stuff like that, because everybody is different. Even though it's the same job, people are very different. And so I've learned how to do that. Um, I mean, my work ethic has changed. when you become an entrepreneur, you really are working 24/7.
Seven.
I get all the time. My best ideas come at 2 a.m., It's crazy. I get my second wind of energy to start focusing at like 10 p.m. So I've had to learn, how to adjust my life to really be disciplined in putting my business first and really trying to constantly be working on it. It's just me, myself, and I right now. So it's not like I can just pass this off to someone else. And so having that discipline, having that like time to really focus was super important to me. And then also learning how to ask for help. Um, Personally, I'm not somebody who does that. I've always been very independent. I'll do it myself. Nothing wrong with asking for help, but for who and how I am for such a long time, it's been difficult. So being in something new, I had to humble myself, had to take a step back, ask for help, learn how to again be a student and not have it all figured out and be okay with that, giving myself the grace to stumble and to fail forward and to continue to keep picking myself up and keep going. Because if not, I don't think that I would have been as far as I am right now. It's difficult, but I'm learning resilience and strength along the way. So
Well, that's so beautiful. So it sounds like you were able to, because you're in California. We're in Southern California, everybody. So are
Mhm.
you using manufacturers in the downtown Los Angeles area? That's where I went to FITM. That's where a lot of the fashion district is. Is that where you kind of ending up?
Yeah, no, I spend a lot of time down in Fashion District. My sewers are in LA. But I only work with two people, so it's very, very hands-on. But yes, that's where we're located. Everything is sourced there, made there, and then shipped out from there.
Are you using programs like Adobe Illustrator? Are you sketching mostly on sketch pads, or how are you doing your process?
Yeah, so a little bit of both. But you know what I've realized what really works best for me too is I'm a very tangible person. I do sketch things out, but I'm not an artist. I don't even know how to start drafting it out like a fashion student or like something of that sort. But I will try. But mostly what I will do is I have a lot of inspiration, so I pull photos, and a lot of it is just grabbing fabric and putting it together and then saying this works, this doesn't work, let's switch it here, let's add ruching here. So very hands-on, but it does start off with like an image of inspiration or just roughly sketching things out. And
Yeah.
then thank goodness my pattern maker is amazing. And so she's also been very hands-on and invested into my business and what I'm trying to do. So there are times where like I'll have an idea and she'll reach back out and be like, I don't think this is gonna work. Let's try it this way. I think another thing that I'm learning too, also just to throw in there, speaking about my pattern maker, is English is definitely not her first language. And I don't speak Spanish. And so there's been a lot of this language barrier, but we work through that. It's inspired me and to like learn more Spanish or every time
Let's learn
I'm like,
Spanish together.
yeah, yeah, I'll teach you English, you teach me Spanish, we'll be fine. But you know what's great about it is that fashion apparently is a universal language. So like even though these little words I may not understand, she gets what I'm trying to do, and I also understand what she's trying to get across. So that's been something that I'm learning. But
Well,
yeah, everything.
that is like a hugely smart business move to surround yourself with people who have been in the industry for a while, have been doing it for a while, and you're actually learning from them as you grow your business and
Mhm.
knowing that that might be a gap in your education because you kind of, dove in head first and it's like, I'm
Yeah,
doing this. And you just found the resources, found the people to make it happen. And I think that's so important to talk about because so many people are scared of like just getting started. Like, what skills do I need? I need to be able to sketch. I need to be able to do all of these things. And it's true, you do need to develop your skills, but it shouldn't stop you from like just getting started or trying to go forward with your dream and just make it happen in whatever way you can. And
absolutely.
yeah, I commend you for just like going for it.
Just doing it. No, girl, thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, you're right. You're right. People do, right? People have all these goals and these dreams, but then they are paralyzed with fear and like all the what ifs start to come up, and then you don't even give yourself the chance to try it. And so thank goodness I'm the crazy one in my family and I just dove right in like you said, I gave myself when I quit my job, I was like, I'm gonna give myself 90 days. Delusional, but I was going to give myself 90 days to create this brand and launch it and be super successful. But no, that obviously didn't happen. It took a little bit longer than that. But yeah, no, I really did. I did have to dive right in and I had to be around all these people because there's no way I could have done this by myself. I've made a lot of like expensive a lot of expensive lessons, I guess you can say along the way. I wouldn't say that they're mistakes, but I've learned, um, what to do, what not to do now. And then and just talking to other designers, talking to pattern makers, talking to people who sell the garments, like what is in, what's not in right now. Why would this specific material not work for what you have in mind, Um, I'd like to say that I'm learning how to build the plane while flying it at the same time.
Not scary at
Yeah,
all.
no, but it does teach me again, humility and to have grace with myself along the way. Like I am learning how do you expect to get anywhere, Jade, if you're not going to give yourself the opportunity to try and learn it, right? And like you're not going to have a crazy successful business overnight if you don't give yourself the chance to just dive right in, surround yourself with all these people, and to try to learn from them until you gain enough experience to do it yourself. So it's it's a big thing. I would definitely tell people to try it anyway. Jump in, try it anyway. But
So I'm
yeah.
curious. So now that you're so deep into it, what is your day as a fashion designer like when you're spending the whole day designing and getting ready for OC Fashion Week and, fitting on models? Like, what does your day look like?
Yeah, I guess it does depend. When it was fashion week time, it was constantly just preparing, fitting my models, going to these castings, meeting them, readjusting, and fixing some of these jumpsuits that I needed to do. A lot of it was spent in social media or trying to market for it. Day to day does vary depending on the situation or what's coming up. Currently, right now, we do have another fashion show tomorrow, so my week has been spent preparing. I collaborated with another jewelry designer. So being able to go and meet with her and then figure out what looks best with that model, with that outfit, has been a lot of what I've been focusing on. Getting the social media out there for just branding and letting people know so they can attend, has been something that I do. But other than that, I will spend a lot of my time doing admin. I'm building a lookbook and portfolio right now because where Jaded is at is, I've been in the fashion shows, I have the photos, I have videos, but now I want to start selling and not just face to face, not one-offs, but like reaching a mass market. So I want to be able to talk to boutiques and store owners, and they are gonna want to see stuff like this, right? I'm not gonna always have the fabrics or jumpsuits on me, so I need to be able to present something to them. So a lot of my time is spent on creating a lookbook that exudes who I am, what I'm doing, what my brand is all about in this like 13-page booklet that I can send to business owners and stores, in hopes of landing in their stores.
It's going to happen, honey. So
Thank
this
you.
is so exciting. What an exciting part of your journey, because I think so many people focus on the end result. Like, I just want to be this big designer. I want to have my stuff in Nordstrom, and I'm not happy until I get there. But in like you're enjoying the process, like you're enjoying the creations and the step by step. And I can just see it in your face. Like you look so like you're glowing. So I'm so
Thank you.
happy for you to be enjoying
Yeah.
the journey as well as, the milestones that come with it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I am glowing up about it. I'm happy and I'm really proud of myself for that. Like so much has happened in just one year alone that many people maybe wouldn't have had the opportunity to do, to be in fashion weeks, to be in magazines, to be at all of these different pop-up events, um, and to have these 10 designs out in 1 year of just having zero experience to like, here we are on the runway. So
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this journey. There's a lot of prayer that goes into this every single day, but it's been fun and there's no stopping me at this point. So
What does the future like look like in your visionary mind and your focused business mind? So what is that? What are your future goals for your jumpsuits?
yes. Oh gosh, there's so many. I think within the next year to 2 years, I am focusing very much so on just and you know what? Maybe that might happen a lot faster than I think because a lot of things already have. But really, it's brand recognition, being able to talk about my story, um, and building Jaded as a brand. I want to be focusing on other collections to come. You know, I have all these different ideas. I want to create interchangeable jumpsuits, which is something that we've been working on, different tops, different bottoms, different different designs for sure, being in the stores for sure. And then being able to move eventually into other like fashion pieces. And I want to jump from jumpsuits to like other pieces that I can solve problems in. I
Yeah.
want to stay on this like problem solving aspect in fashion. But I definitely also want to end up on Shark Tank first. So
Ooh, oh my gosh.
that
That
is
would
a
be
goal. It is a
amazing.
goal.
I'm gonna send prayers out for you for that one. That's an incredible goal. I love it. And the fact that you are just willing to say it out loud and share that with
Well, you have to. You got to speak life
people.
into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So powerful. So I know that a lot of people are going to want to look at your website. They're going to want to find you on social media. Why don't you give a brief rundown and I'll link everything below so people can find you.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So right now we are on Instagram, Jaded Jumpsuits. Come and follow us. That's where they can see a lot of the updates coming up for Jaded and then catch all of the little like photos and stuff that we have out. And then my website is again, letsgetjaded.com. So people can go there. And then as we continue to expand, like I have a TikTok, but I haven't uploaded. So now I need to do that. But I will post everything onto my Instagram. That's my way to connect right now.
Perfect. I love that. And I love how you incorporated your name and such a catchy like business name and a
Thank you.
name. And it's just like it's fabulous. So I
It
love it.
totally is. It's a play off of my name, but I'm also like jaded normally. I'm like, I'm gonna change the meaning of that because jaded alone is like boring or lack of enthusiasm. We're kind of just over it. And I'm like, that's exactly how I felt about my job. That's exactly how I felt about being naked in the bathroom. So I'm gonna change it for the better here. So that's why it's jaded, make a change because I'm like, you know what? That's how I was. That's how I felt. So I'm gonna change things. And then hopefully down the road, it becomes this movement that I want it to be of like, if you're jaded in an area of your life or you find something you're jaded on, then like it's okay, but like let's make a change for the better. So that's essentially, you know, what Jaded is all about is just inspiring change.
I love that. I love that so much. I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me today. I can't wait to share this video. Just thank you so much.
Yes, no, thank you so much for having me on and you know for taking the time to speak with me and allowing me to share a little bit of my story. So I'm excited and yeah, hopefully you can stay posted. We'll do another one next year and then we'll see how far we've come.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will see you on the runway.
Yes. Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. If you have any specific questions about the fashion industry, fashion business, fashion designers, please comment below. Thanks for watching.